Yo, this is your boy EC22, and yes, it is Monday, not Tuesday. So I'm sorry for you guys who are in shock right now because all of a sudden your Facebook feed is streaming live right now with Coach D-Way and EC22. But this is how it is, man. Y'all, you know how it is. Scheduling conflicts happen. Tomorrow I won't be able to do the show, but I could not, with good conscience, not have a show this week. So we moved up to Monday. Shouts out to Simba and J-Dub who wasn't able to get on today, but as me and Coach D-Way say, the show must go on.
Always and forever.
Yes, sir.
We started this bad boy by ourselves, and we'll keep it going.
Absolutely, y'all. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation as always. Mm-hmm. Yo, Coach D-Way, what are we talking about today?
Oh my gosh! See the green. You don't see the golf and the
I see it.
We are talking about golf history. We are talking about Masters history. We are talking about something that's only happened 5 other times before yesterday afternoon. And that is, if you got a chance to tune into the Masters, everyone would know that Rory McIlroy won the Masters yesterday. But the thing that was cool, Rory McIlroy completed the Grand Slam. And let me explain what that is for all you non-golfers out there. There's 4 major golf tournaments in professional golf. The PGA tournament, the British Open, the US Open, and the Masters. Those are the 4 biggies. Those are the 4 that comprise the Grand Slam. Okay? And prior to yesterday, Gene Sarazen, I'm reading it, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and no one other than the great Tiger Woods have ever won those 4 tournaments during their golf career. Yesterday, Rory completed the cycle. He won the Masters Championship yesterday. He'd already won the U.S. Open, the British Open, and the PGA Championship. So we got to see history, sports history, golf history. And so kudos to Rory McIlroy. Kudos to Justin Rose for fighting hard and coming back. It was super exciting. If you love golf, then you had to see that yesterday. But, yeah, anytime you get to see or witness sports history, it's exciting. It's big news. So congratulations to Rory McIlroy for completing that and becoming the 6th professional golfer to ever pull that feat off. It's a big deal, you see.
That's what's up. Let's talk about the Masters. So Justin Rose started out the first couple rounds in the head, and then obviously we saw McIlroy get hot. This last round, let's talk about particularly yesterday, what we saw yesterday. First of all, let's give a shout out to our boy over here in the Metroplex. He lived closer to D-Way than I do, but Bryson DeChambeau did an excellent job getting there. But man, I don't know what he ate or everybody was swallowing nerves. I mean, Scotty Scheffler didn't have a great run those last couple of days, but Rose, man, was not even on the board to be competing for the Masters win yesterday. I mean, not Roy, but Justin Rose. And if you guys didn't see the end of it, it came down to Justin Rose and Rory McIlroy. It started out with Bryson DeChambeau, and man, golly, let's talk about Bryson real quick, and we'll work our way up to Rory McIlroy. What did you see out of Bryson DeChambeau yesterday's performance that was alarming to you?
You know, it's interesting because, first of all, shout out to Bryson. He's the pride of SMU, big-time Mustang golfer. And it was interesting because starting the day, Rory had a 2-shot lead on Bryson. Rory was minus 12 and Bryson was minus 10, okay? And Justin Rose was 5 or 6 shots back. And so people really weren't thinking he was going to have a shot at it. The number 1 hole, look at this.
What up, J-Dub?
Hey, what's happening? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We got you in your truck. We got EC in his vehicle. So all good, man. You perfect timing. We just jumped on. So
okay,
starting out,
I don't know how long I'll be on.
Okay, all good. Starting out on the first hole with Rory having a 2-shot lead, That quickly changed in the blink of an eye. Rory double bogeyed number one, and Bryson parred number one. So going into number two, that deal's knotted up. It's tied up. They're both -10, and we're thinking we're fixing to have a heavyweight. It's fixing to be on. It is fixing to be on. But Rory said afterwards that double bogey, in a weird way, kind of just calmed his nerves. After that, he's like, okay, nothing. I can't gain. Nothing gonna happen any worse than that. So let me just settle in here and play some golf now. So he started rocking it out like Rory do what Rory do, and Bryson. And I told my cousin Bruce up in Philly this yesterday before the tournament started. I thought his strength and his length was going to play against him yesterday, and it did, because while he can hit the ball from here to planet Jupiter, he doesn't always have real good control of it. Masters, that will play against you. Your strength and your length will hurt you at the Masters, EC.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you this question, and JW, you can jump in if you want to chime in. I love Bryson DeChambeau. He is by far my favorite golfer now, because it can change. I can change my mind tomorrow, but right now he's one of my favorites, right? But one thing I think that helps him and hurts him is his emotions. Going into that match, obviously they're the last two guys to tee off because they're the leaders, and Rory wasn't really getting into the crowd. It seemed like he was a little bit more focused. DeChambeau, he's gonna eat the crowd up. He's fist pumping. He's doing everything he can. He's waving to the crowd, getting them hyped up,
flexing,
and
man. He's got
flexing everything, showing his Captain America muscles and all that stuff like that. And then he gets out there, like you say, he pars the first. Number two, he actually gets a birdie, so he ended up getting a 2-shot lead, and then it all went downhill from there. And I think he set the expectation too high for himself. And you want to set expectation high, but I think he was found wanting. At the end of the day, he was found wanting because he just got in his head and he couldn't seem to finish it. J-Dub, did you get a chance to watch that last round yesterday?
I watched most of it, and Bryson is my current favorite golfer, just because of his emotions, and that shouldn't surprise anybody based on everything I say. I like the guys who work the crowd, but to Uncle David, or to Coach's point, that adrenaline rush from the crowd sometimes isn't what you need at the Masters. It's all control there, especially when you get to the turn, if you will. The Amen corner, if you're not locked in, then you're done.
Facts.
No, 1,000%. You hit it, knocked it out of the park right there.
Now, did Scotty Scheffler, because he actually know what we know now and seeing how it ended, when that final round started, he actually had a chance just as much as anybody. Did you think did he feel like the lead was too far out, or was that something he was trying to get, or he was just playing his lane? Because he actually had a chance now that we know to see the outcome.
So that's a great question. I appreciate the question. So this is what I said as the round started, what you just asked. I said that if Scotty played really well, which we all know he's capable of doing that. He usually does that on a regular basis. I said if Scotty played really well, not wheels off, not great, but if he played Scotty Scheffler golf and Bryson and Rory good days, that Scotty would have a realistic chance of winning the tournament. And Scotty played good golf. He played good. Yeah. He didn't play great golf, but he played good golf. Rory just got around there on Amen corner. He did have one little hiccup on 13. We'll get to that in a minute. But, Rory just did what he had to do, to lead. There was a minute there where, there were a couple of them at minus 11 and a couple of them at minus 10. It was Justin Rose, who's a good, young, phenomenal player, Scheffler, and Corey Connors. So there were 6 of them right there. Right there. And for a minute there, it was anybody's to win and anybody's to lose. Here's the difference. I like Rory McIlroy. He's not one of my favorites, but I like him. But here's the difference between a guy like a Rory McIlroy, a guy like a Tiger Woods or a Jack Nicklaus. Rory, easy approach shot on 13. Yards out. Those pros eat those shots up. They eat those things for breakfast every morning.
Yeah.
And he flubbed a wedge and knocked it in the creek in front of the green on 13. And then the second thing he did was he had a very makeable, should have made it putt to win the round, to win the championship outright on 18, and he missed that putt. Tiger Woods doesn't hit the ball in the water on 13.
Right.
In that situation. Tiger Woods doesn't miss that putt on 18 in regulation to win the tournament. Neither does Jack Nicklaus do any of those things. So that's where the separation is from the Tiger Woodses and the Jack Nicklauses of the world.
Right.
Everybody else. Everybody else is human. Those two guys I just mentioned are Supermen.
Well, I got this question for J-Dub, and we're going to see how it's going to come out. So when he's talking about the people like Connors and Scotty and Justin Rose and those guys who had a chance up in there, how does it feel the guy that you're chasing is playing 2 holes behind you?
Man, but that's part of golf, man. And and I'm not a golfer, but your round is all that matters to you. How everybody else is playing doesn't matter because you can't affect it. Only thing you can affect is what you're doing. So even if Rory is having an okay day and you're hyping thinking you can catch him and you get too hype and you start having a bad day. So it's all mental. And just like Coach just said, that's why Tiger and Jack they can't be compared to any other golfer in the history of golf. Because they had a mental edge over everybody.
Yeah. I would go as far, Jay, that was good. I would go as far as to say, and me and Z-Man had this conversation several months back. If I had to put, and this is just Coach D-Way's opinion, if I had to put the 4 mentally toughest guys, sports guys that I know in a box, without a doubt, it'd be, in no particular order, it'd be Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, and 4A and 4B would be Muhammad Ali and Kobe Bryant. Because those guys,
I like that list.
Those guys, they're competitors at the highest level. Okay?
Right.
And when they get you down, they don't beat you. They put their boot on your throat and try to choke you out slowly. They don't want to just kill you quick. They want to watch you die slowly. Kind of reminds me of Denzel Washington in what's the movies he was in? He had 3 or 4 episodes that were greatness. Help me, Jay.
The Equalizer.
Hey, what is
Equalizer.
So what about Greg Newman and Chuck Daly?
I mean, they're there, but they ain't there.
Yeah,
they ain't there. They're not on the list that he's mentioning.
And here's something else you guys may or may not know, and I doubt the viewers, the listeners know that this is really what's up. There's only 1 or 2 tournaments that I'm aware of, golf tournaments in the world, where you have to check your cell phone at the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can get through the gate with their cell phone.
Yeah.
Nobody has their cell phone. There are hundreds of thousands of people on those grounds in those 4 or 5 days. Nobody has their cell phone. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. So all the patrons, all the spectators, the fans, nobody knows who's winning and losing. The only way they can know is by looking at the leaderboard that's set up throughout the course. So when they change that leaderboard every 10 or 15 minutes, the crowd goes absolutely nutsy cuckoo because they're shocked. Okay.
Now I got another question I want to ask, and this is more because I've seen this happen a lot of times, and I see it happen because it's embarrassing. You start the day off like a Bryson DeChambeau, and you're going against, so it's between you and Rory and Mcllory. All of a sudden, ain't no cameras watching you, but they're watching the guy that you're teeing off with. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and everything is geared towards him winning, but you have to sit there and ride it on out because you start the day off, you know what I'm saying, in 1 and 2, and now all of a sudden, ain't nobody coming to you, ain't no cameras on you. They're cameras on you just because they're filling time before commercial break or something like that. And you know the energy, Does that get into can that get into a player's mind?
Absolutely.
100%.
To compare it, so something I know a little bit more about, it's easy for all of us to go to an empty gym and hit a free throw. Okay.
Right.
It's a lot different in front of a crowd. It's a lot different from doing it in front of a televised audience. And then it's even more to close your eyes and do it in front of a televised audience. So just, so back to what you just said, he's got to play this whole round. Not the whole round. He's got to play the rest of this round without being in the top 2 guys. He's got to show some mental toughness in losing as well. It's golf, man. Golf is the only sport that we talk about like this.
Right.
And, Bryson goes from starting the second hole tied to finishing the tournament losing by 4 strokes. And in golf, I'll relate it to you guys are basketballers. That'd be like going in at halftime of an NBA basketball game and the game's tied and losing the game by 40. That's how big of a gap. That's how big of a gap it is at professional
Absolutely.
golf.
And Bryson could have probably done better if he wasn't like if he was 3 or 4 strokes behind and wasn't grouped in the final grouping and he could have played off the crowd. He'd have probably done better,
dude.
Right.
But it's different. Just like what you said with Kobe, Muhammad Ali. It's different when you're expected to win and you still come out there and can perform at the high level.
Yeah. And Jay, that's good. And just then you get to a point where, and we've all experienced this as athletes growing up playing sports. You get to a point in whatever sport it is that you're in, when you know that you're going to lose. There's some point in time in the game that it hits you like a Mack truck that you go, I don't give a damn what I do from this point in. I am not going to win this basketball game. I am not going to win this golf tournament. And that's when the beat down comes into play.
Right.
The mental beat down. Jay?
You go out there and so how do you so like golf, when you're not going to win, there's still the rest of the season where you're in the playoffs now, but there's still points that have to get out there. You still got to collect your points. Do you switch gears and say, I'm doing this for fun? You know what I'm saying? Or do you still have that edge or the energy where you're tight, still trying to do the best you can? Or what is the mental, what is mental toughness comes when four in the par over the leader? I don't know.
I'm gonna let Jay talk first.
25th place made $50,000. Okay.
Okay.
So when you're out of the running for first place, I think 4th place got 1.2 million. So just because you're not going to win doesn't mean you ain't trying to get paid.
Okay, facts.
And J-Dub stole my thunder. Okay? That just goes to show you he knows what's up.
So yeah,
people, if you're out there listening, if you're out there viewing in, if you're out there laughing, making fun of me, I'm all about it. But like J-Dub said, one shot can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars in a professional golf
tournament. So what place
tournament.
did Bryson end up being in? So what place did he end up getting?
I think he tied for 4th.
So tying for 4th. So I looked at it this morning. Tying for 4th place is the first $1 million payout. So between 4th and 6th, it drops to $500,000, and that's not anything to shake a stick at. That's not what I'm saying. But he could still play, and he's still playing for a bag, right?
Tied for 5th, yeah. But man, the money is ridiculous. So it's not like in basketball where when you're down by 20 with 7 minutes left in the game, you pull all your starters because you want to rest them. In golf, you're playing for as much chinga change as you can possibly play for at that point.
All right, so let's go into a little bit of a controversy, I guess. It's been noted, and quote me if I'm wrong, that Bryson DeChambeau and Rory McIlroy don't have the greatest relationship, all because it stems behind Bryson DeChambeau going over to Live when Live was giving out all that money and handcuffing the PGA. Let's talk about that. What are your thoughts on that, Coach?
I knew EC was going to go there. I knew he was going to go there. Jada, go ahead.
So Rory specifically, I'm not talking about all the PGA players versus all the Live players, but Rory specifically was very adamant and had a lot to say about the players who went to Live. So he can't crawfish and say, "Oh, I didn't really mean it." He was the one who got so upset when Live and PGA started talking about merging.
Right.
So his personal belief against Live players is going to be a little more negative than the rest of the PGA because he has to be. He can't undo what he said.
Right.
So that's probably some of it, but the other part of it is too. Roy is a concentrated person. He's not even as emotional as Tiger was out there on the course.
Right.
So he's concentrated. So I think some of it is Rory not caring for the Live players, but I think most of it is Rory's just there to play his game.
I can appreciate that. The reason why I asked that, D-Way, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I just want to say that, like Rory's not one of my. I like Rory. He's not one of my favorite golfers. I like him, and Rory is very passionate about golf. He's been doing this and dreaming about this since he's been about 3 years old. This was something that he's been dreaming about since he was in a junior high school about doing this. And so I'm going to say this. My biggest take on, first of all, regarding the Live, things said from both sides that I think they both wish they probably could have said differently. Okay. In the heat of the moment, so it is what it is. But I was going to say this. Of all the golfers, like hasn't lived up to his hype and expectations of what the general golf public thought he should be and could be is Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people that thought that he was going to be the closest thing we would see to Tiger Woods as far as dominance. And that didn't happen. And he had the physical talent for that to happen, and it didn't happen. So Rory's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Rory's also got I think he knows that he hasn't lived up to the expectation. So
right.
I'm not hating on Rory. I'm not hating on Rory. I'm glad that he has had the success he had, but is there a little bit of uncomfortable weirdness between Rory and those guys? Yeah, just because things were said.
Yeah. For those who are watching, if y'all don't quite understand what we're talking about, the Live. Live is a golfing organization that was started by the Saudis, and y'all know how the Saudis are, right? Anything they can do to make money, to capitalize financial, they do this for entertainment. So they was playing players tons of money just to come play. It wasn't about winning or losing. You do want to win or lose, but it had nothing to do about winning or losing. They just wanted to pretty much pay for entertainment, and they was giving out a lot of money. But the golf purists like a Rory McIlroy wanted to stay home and like, we're not going over there. We're not entertaining all this stuff like that. This is the purity of our sport, golf. And then when Bryson and a couple other guys went over to make money, that became a deal. And then before you know it, the PGA realized it was going to lose out on a ton of money, so they merged. So, and I mean, none of us, I didn't like the Live format when it came out, but it is what it is, right? But the golfers seem to love to have that break. It's not as stressful as all these other tournaments, and so they like it like that. But, and Coach, I'm going to say this. I found myself low-key hating on Rory yesterday.
Okay.
I was able to miss those putts, and he did. So let's talk about it. I want to talk about that. And I was going to really hit on Rory McIlroy missing those key putts. But then he wasn't the only one. So I'm deciding, you know what? Did the Masters do a good job of their greens? Because it wasn't just one. There's a lot of players screwing up on the greens yesterday. Go ahead, Jay. I feel like you want to jump in on that.
Go J-Dub.
So I've never been to Augusta, but everybody says it's like putting on concrete, right?
Mm.
This is not for the faint of heart. If you tap that ball, it's going 30 feet.
Wow.
Easy. So that's why the Masters is the Masters, right? It's the hardest greens to putt on the whole tour. So that's why when you win and you dominate, especially like when Tiger did, what was that, 97, when he was 9 strokes above everybody else, it's that much more impressive because everybody is struggling on these greens. Everybody.
Yeah. And the common person, two things I'm going to say. Number one, the Masters, Augusta, and the British Open, which they now call the Open, are the 2 hardest professional golf courses those guys play. Okay. Mm-hmm. But if you get on your kitchen table and you roll a marble or you roll a golf ball, okay, these greens are faster than that because of help me with this word, J-Dub, the angulation.
Yeah, the undulation.
The undulation, you don't see that on TV. How sloped, how curved, how crazy they are. You don't see that part. So not only are they slicker than slick can be, but they're moving every direction. You can breathe on a ball. And Jonathan G, the Saudis understand the spirit of sports from a fan's perspective. Here people are concerned with how much an athlete makes versus what they believe she should make. I love it, Jonathan G. But you can breathe on a golf ball, and it will literally some of those greens, it will actually roll 60 or 70 feet. And in some cases, it'll roll off the green, into the fairway, into the lake. Mm-hmm. We've also seen it happen hundreds of times through the years. Okay. I saw Phil Mickelson at the Masters years ago hit an approach shot from less than 100 yards, and the ball hit and rolled all the way back down to where he hit it from.
Wow.
That's how steep of the shot it was. So
and y'all saw Rory's daughter tap that ball. I mean, barely even touched it. And it rolled 15 feet into the hole. She touched it like, I mean, it was a feather.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, man.
It's special golf course.
Hey, I just want to give a quick shout out to Corey. Corey, thank you for watching, man. We appreciate you. We're currently talking about the Masters. We're about to transition to the NFL real quick. But hey, yo, guys, listen, we talk about every sport on here. So there's a sport that we haven't talked about, you want to jump on, please do. I'm trying to get some guys that are going to come in and talk about soccer because we got all that stuff happening here this summer. It's going to be here in the Metroplex. So you soccer guys, man, get yourself booted and strapped and come on and talk about it. Join the show. Let's switch on over to first of all, congratulations to Paige Beckers, man. Did y'all hear the news today? Signed a 3-year deal with Unrivaled.
Saw that.
I mean, and you know, I'm gonna tell you guys why this is so important. Because right now they're getting ready to go into a CBA with the WNBA, and it seems like right now Unrivaled has the potential to be the new WNBA because these women have took it upon themselves to go get their own investors to make all this money, and now they're making more money what they can potentially make in the WNBA, and they can make it fast and quick, and not only make the money but be an owner of the organization that's paying them. That's crazy. So, man, Paige Beckers, I did not see this coming, but what a great job what Stewie and Feesey did to pull her in because that ain't gonna do but bring more viewership. Yeah. And Caitlin Clark she's gonna be around the corner.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to. We're not gonna have time to talk about this, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it. As we speak, the Dallas Wings are on the clock for the WNBA draft. As we sit here and chit chat, the Wings are on the clock. So it's going to be interesting to see what y'all's prediction on who they're going to take.
Oh, Paige, straight up.
They got to take Paige.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot to unfold there, right? So money is based on ads. I've said this 1,000 times on this show. So they have to get.
Hold up, J-Dub. Hold up, wait. Corey talking about Happy Gilmore. He said he's not into golf, but he's a regular Happy Gilmore. I laugh on that because I can hit the ball too, but I'm after that. Once they hit the tee shot, it's all trash from there. So go ahead, J-Dub. I'm sorry.
So Paige deserves her little contract from Unrivaled, but Unrivaled is still, they got investors on the front end. The investors aren't going to be happy unless they can sell ad space. Ad space comes from viewership.
Absolutely.
People aren't watching. The ads aren't worth as much as they are. Think about the Super Bowl, right? That's the extreme. They got the most amount of audience, so they can charge however much they want. So Unrivaled is betting that Paige is a phenom like Caitlyn was, even though Caitlyn is one of one. I feel bad for her that she's going to be compared to Caitlyn all season long, and she is not Caitlyn. She's a baller, but she's not Caitlyn. So, her WNBA contract is still based on revenue that the WNBA is bringing in, and the WNBA ain't bringing in revenue. They're getting better. Last year, they were as close to zero as they've ever been. They were negative $5 million instead of negative $35 million that they have been. So all this contract Unrivaled, that's awesome. I hope she gets her money now, because in 3 or 4 years, if the investors aren't seeing the ad revenue come back in, then those are going to go down too. You can't pay people with money that's not there.
Yep.
Okay, is going to be the first pick, and hopefully Dallas.
The pick is in. The selection. Wings take Paige Beckers from University of Connecticut. So, congratulations, Paige.
We knew that was going to happen. Hey, J-Dub, here's a fun fact that I found out today, that the Unrivaled, with all investment, they had what they projected in earnings was $13 million revenue.
Yeah.
But at the end, they end up getting $29 million in revenue.
Yes, they did.
So we, like you said, we still got to get ad space. We still got to get all this other stuff. But I'm like, man, they're right there. They are right there, man.
Queen Fee and Stewie had phenomenal timing to do this, and they capitalized when women's basketball interest is at an all-time high. For college, professional, all of it.
No, G, I don't think Reese got traded at all. She didn't get traded.
She didn't get traded.
No, she still was Scott.
I'm curious.
But they did make a trade, so they should be picking Haley Van Lith.
So we got Seattle's on the clock. Who do y'all think they'll take?
The girl from France.
What's her name?
Somebody say it for me. Monica.
Because that's not who the quote unquote experts are saying that they're going to pick.
It's the 6'6" girl.
From where?
I might have got it wrong. From somewhere over there. Monica Domingo or something. Dominique?
Yeah, they don't have her listed.
Or who? Brother, I ain't at my computer. Or I got all the names right there.
Who's the chick from Baylor?
No.
Oh, you talking about Haley? No, not Haley. Haley's my team.
Haley's projected to go 11.
Yeah, that's who they're looking for. See, they're pretty much follow unless they jump and get Kiki.
Pick is in.
It's not the same, not on the computer.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we kind of fuzzy on me for a minute. No, you're kind of fuzzy, E.
I kind of like he's got a microphone set up in his.
I'm fuzzy.
That's how he rolls, man.
I do.
I do. Who's the girl from Baylor and the girl from Washington?
Don't know the girl from Washington. I know last time I saw the Sparks were supposed to pick the girl from Kentucky, Georgia Amore. Haley Van Lith was slated to go 11. There's a girl from Slovenia who I've watched her highlights, like going 8th.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus okay, I can see you better too. Corey's
okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
Glad the women's game is getting some shine. They deserve it, and these women are getting better as time goes along. Hey, Corey, here on the FairWeather Fan, we give the women all the props in the world, man. We give them love every chance we get on all the sports.
And not only is their talent catching up, or I say catching up, that's not the right word. And their talent coming to an even par, but their size is getting bigger too, in a good way.
Right. So let's talk. Let me kill it. Can y'all hear me still?
Yes, right now we can.
Okay, yeah, because I'm not on Spectrum, but I am on AT&T in the parking lot that has a few bars. But no, the NFL draft. Let's talk about that. We're going to the NFL draft. I got just a few questions I want to troll on the NFL draft. The first one, main question: when you look at Dylan Gabriel, who were the finalists for the Heisman Trophy, out of all 4 guys, he's the only one that's not selected to go within the first 2 rounds. What's going on with that situation with Dylan Gabriel?
So I'll go first, and then I'll let Jada, because I think we're looking at not from an attitude standpoint, just from a ability standpoint. I think we're looking at kind of a Johnny Manziel situation here. You know, where Dylan was a really, really good collegiate quarterback, but the scouts have some reservations about what he's going to be able to do at the next level. J-Dub, what do you think?
Man, yeah, I agree with that. And he didn't have the press that, the others did. Man, but the NFL draft is a lottery, right? I mean, how many number 1, 2, and 3 busts are there? How many gems are found in the 7th round? So the mock drafts, the scouting reports, the damn combine, none of that really matters when it's Sunday and you strap on your pads and decide who's going to play. I mean, the thing I watched today, everybody was harping on Shador for tapping the ball before he threw it. And then so I got going down a black hole of figuring out who all tapped the ball before they threw it. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford. So the scouts saying that the Shador is not an elite quarterback because he taps the ball before he throws it, but every elite quarterback we can compare him to taps it. So the scouts don't know what they're talking about. The GMs barely know what they're talking about. I put very little stock in where an NFL player was drafted because there are so many busts and there are so many bright spots. Look at Mr. Irrelevant with a huge contract last season. So, man, that doesn't mean anything to me.
So the things I researched on it, because I was intrigued behind that. So they said that he's too small. They said he's I think I spelled his name. I butchered his name, but Dylan Gabriel. They say he's too small, 5'11". Is that a big issue at the next level? Because you look at people like Colin Murray.
5'10". Drew Brees was 5'10".
Colin Murray is 5'9", 5. He's short too. So,
so does it help? Does it help to be Peyton Manning and be able to see over your offensive line? Absolutely. But I don't think it's a prerequisite to greatness. I don't think Joe Montana was very big, and he's one of the 2 greatest. There's arguments that happen because of him.
So there's other things that come into play. The scouts they put every pin and clock and everything on every one of those guys, and it could have something to do with his arm strength. Could have something to do with his mobility or their lack of. I mean, it could be, who knows, but I'm like J-Dub. I mean, look at Brock Purdy. Look at the GOAT. These guys got drafted late and last in the draft. And so who knows?
Where's Tim Couch at? Where's Ryan Leaf at? These were all draft picks, lottery draft picks. So that doesn't mean anything.
RG3, the list goes on and on and on. Yeah.
Another thing they said his size, age. This was shocking to me because for long NFL has always been talking about getting more mature players, and now they're saying that he'll be turning 25 as a rookie. Some programs are kind of shying away from that. Is that fair?
I think it's lame.
I think it's an excuse.
Yeah.
Y'all could correct me, but wasn't the Florida State quarterback, 2 decades ago, Chris Winkie, wasn't he like 26 years old when he went to the NFL too?
Maybe even older, maybe at least 26. Yeah.
So
yeah, you're right.
It's certainly not common, because these people have circumstances that most athletes don't have to go through. But again, I don't think any of that matters. If you can play when the pads are on, then you're going to find a spot.
And to Jonathan G's a point and comment, which I loved, the Dallas Cowboys in the 70s and 80s.
He was 50. I'm saying.
The Cowboys used to take what they thought was the best athlete available. So, and Emmitt Smith's another really good example. They didn't put as much stock in what the clock watch said, or if the guy, how big or how small or how fast or how slow the guy was. Another guy that I don't think even got drafted, Bill Bates, who ended up being a superstar, specialty teams player for the Cowboys all those years. I think all that combine stuff is way overrated, J-Dub. So.
It's a good measuring stick to know what kind of athlete you're getting. It's a good personality test to know if he'll fit into your system, but man, there's so many other intangibles in the game of football. I mean, you just never know.
Yeah.
And this last one, I'm gonna throw out there, and I know G gonna really. G, I want you to take a stab at this one as well. Just leave a comment in there. They talk about, number one, his arm strength, not being able to throw the ball as far as down the field. And then when he do throw the deep ball, he's not accurate. And I'm talking about, and then RPOs. He liked to run the RPOs. Obviously, you can't do nothing about it. That's what his organization ran in college. And they said that the way he ran RPO, those quick passes, are not going to translate to the next lead. His arm strength, his ball accuracy, and his conservativeness. He don't like to take those big risks. And I thought everything that mentioned in there, arm strength, that should be on conditioning coach and your quarterback coach. As far as running RPOs and conservative, that's on your offensive coordinator. Make sure the right plays and he go out there and execute. So all these I felt like are just more excuses. I could be wrong. It could be me taking up for Dalen Gilbert, because I think that's slap in the face for everybody that's on the Heisman candidate list going to go first round, and he may go as low as the 5th round. I think that's a slap in the face. So is that fair to say? When they start throwing that RPO and arm strength and ball accuracy and conservativeness all out there?
And then he's also, not that this matters or it should matter, but some people put a price on this. He's also left-handed. And again, it shouldn't really matter, but most teams' strength is opposite the way they've always geared everything. I mean, you got the exception. You got Mike Vick and who's the kid that came out of Washington? Just got drafted out of Washington. Michael
Penix.
Yeah, I think he's.
Michael Penix.
Yeah. So maybe that they got him listed at 5'11", 205. He's left-handed, but who knows what those scouts are thinking? They don't know any more than us three know. So I'm not saying.
Last question I'm ask on this, and we're doing some good time here. We're looking at, obviously, Tennessee, the New York Jets, the New York Giants. We're looking at Pittsburgh. We're looking at what other team out there? Cleveland Browns, New Orleans Saints. That's at least 6 teams that needs a quarterback. We see that more than likely Cam Ward was going to go to Tennessee. Shador may fall between the Raiders all the way down to Pittsburgh, who's getting the number 20th pick, in the first round. After that, by looking at all these mock drafts, I did my own mock draft, at least just the first round, but looking at all these simulators I've been looking at, I mean, you're talking about Dylan Gabriel may go 3rd round or early 2nd round. I mean, not Dylan Gabriel, but Jackson Dart may go early, second round, and after that, it's a rat race. What I'm asking is that we see what Tennessee wants to do, but when you're looking at Cleveland, all these other gambles, it's almost like if they don't get Shador, then a lot of them assuming they're going to wait till third and fourth round and start grabbing these quarterback. But these guys, but there are 7-8 teams out there that need a quarterback like right now. Is that too risky?
I mean, it sounds like a fantasy football league draft to me with a quarterback. Jason, does it not?
It does.
That's one thing that J-Dub taught me years ago about fantasy football drafts. He goes, Uncle David, if you can't get a big name, big time, prime time QB, then you might as well just wait, because that next group's all about the same, So will Dylan Gable get drafted? Absolutely. Will Jackson Dart get drafted? Absolutely. Shador? Absolutely. When they get drafted, only the shadow knows. J-Dub, go ahead.
And, man, this might be a little bit off topic, but I'm not a fan of a day one rookie starter. Just not a fan of it. Daniels are very rare. For a kid to come in and have control of the offense like he did this year was impressive. I'm not going to sit here and say like your second, third best backups in the league. I would take them over your top 3 college quarterbacks. They're older, they're wiser, they're stronger. They've been in the league, they've been in the system.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of drafting a rookie and giving him the reins right there. I don't care how good he is in college. He's playing against people who are going to be selling cars next month versus playing against people who get paid to play football.
That's good.
So I just think there's just a difference, man. And I'm not going to put that pressure on the rookie because now you could be burning him out too quick. You can get him sacked. Look at RG3. Look how many hits he took. And I'm not even an RG3 fan, but look how many hits he took. Think that shortened his career. So I don't care where these kids go because I don't want any of them to start for if I own the franchise or I'm in the GM of the franchise, I don't want any of them to start next season.
Well, more times than not, these high drafted quarterbacks never pan out. Secondly, EC's going to laugh when I say this. Of all the NFL franchises, the team that's had a disaster of drafting quarterbacks has been the Cleveland Browns and the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland has been the worst.
You got a horrible team, and you think a 22-year-old quarterback is going to be your savior, then, man, you're grasping for straws.
Punk quarterback's going to be that you're paying him a gazillion dollars.
So if it pays out right, Cleveland probably be picking Travis Hunter first round and then going grabbing Jackson Dart second round. Boy, that's disaster. Corey said that he didn't necessarily like the quarterbacks that's coming out. He said he's not too big on them. So we talk about what's the guy? Cam Ward. You got the Shador Center. Then you got Jackson Dart, and then you got Jalen Milroe from Alabama. You got Tyler Show from Louisville. You got Kyle McLeod from Syracuse. Will Howard, my favorite, out of Ohio State. We got Quinn Ewers out of Texas, my least favorite. And then you got Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon. You got Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame. Huh? Which one you say, Coach?
Quinn?
Yeah, he came out. Yeah. He did pretty good. He did pretty good in the combine. And then you got Curtis Rourke, another favorite of mine out of Indiana. And then you got Brandon Cook out of Missouri. When I look at people like Curtis Rourke out of Indiana, I look at people like Will Howard. I don't know. They just have that grown man NFL build, NFL quarterback build. Like you say, only time will tell how good they're going to get, and whether they're going to make changes in the organization that draft them. Quentin Ewers obviously is going to be a backup for somebody. He's not going to go to a team that needs a quarterback that they're not going to do that. Jalen Milroe, I'm not a fan. Because y'all know he's from Alabama and I don't like Alabama, so that's just where it goes. Dylan Gabriel, obviously the whole shenanigans with him leaving or OU and stuff like that. So, my wife be mad at me if I'm talking about this guy, giving this much airtime on the podcast, but it is what it is. But no, I am a real true fan of Will Howard, man, out of Ohio State. I am really just a fan of the kid. I am. I'm just what it is. And I'm hoping, I'm saying it right now, Mike Tomlin, if you're listening, get Will Howard in the second round. Go try to fight for Matthew Golden in the first round, the fastest guy in the combine, and then go get Will Howard. That's my mock draft pick.
I tell you what would be cool is if Cleveland took Travis in the first round, if they took Shedeur in the second round, that'd be cool.
Man, if Shedeur don't get picked up by the Saints, which is in that ninth spot, which means that'll mean the Giants passed on them, as well as the Raiders passed on them. I don't see Pittsburgh picking him up at 20, so he may fall to the second round. He may. And
maybe Cleveland could get both of those Buffaloes.
And if he's there because Cleveland got the first pick of the second round, so if he's there, then yeah, that definitely will be happening.
I just think Cleveland's a quarterback.
And D ought to be on the phone, so y'all make it happen.
J-Dub, I just think Cleveland's a rookie quarterback nightmare, man.
Again, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. It's just a nightmare because they don't have a team around him, right? So he's going to be on his backside a lot. He's going to have, again, too, I guess the other reason why I'm not going to start a rookie quarterback day one, I mean, again, there are exceptions to this rule, but the windows are smaller. The guys are bigger. Everybody jumps higher. You got to thread the needle every single play.
Yeah.
So give these young men, these young superstars, a season.
You saw that, Coach?
Jonathan said, Quinn Ewers be selling cars at Sewell Cadillac next to you in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. So I can't name more than a couple first, second, third pick quarterbacks that ended up being the guy.
Who's going to get the running back from Boise State?
I'm a GM. I want that crazy dude from Arizona or Arizona State. What is his?
That dude's nuts.
I like him at that position. I want you to be a little crazy.
Yeah. The kid from Judy from Frisco. He's from Frisco. The Boise State kid, Eric.
Ashton Gentry.
Yeah.
Running back.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Ashton Gentry. They're looking at golly, I forgot.
Who's supposed to be the first pick I picked?
The first pick would be Cam Ward. Let me pull up this what I had earlier. So they're looking at Cam Ward going first. You don't like Cam Ward being the number one pick going to Tennessee?
Not the very first guy picked.
But see, college is still such a quarterback-dominated game, and the line dominates the NFL. The line, both sides.
And look, Louis Riddick, who everybody loves and respects, and went out and pulled the notes and all out, saying, "Can I quote that Cam Ward can be the next Patrick Mahomes?" So with Louis Riddick putting his stamp of approval, I mean, Tennessee is going to be a no-brainer for them.
Did we think Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech was going to be Patrick Mahomes at the Kansas City Chiefs?
Right.
Seriously, anybody call that?
Right.
Right, I did.
So Cam could be, but he could also be. Man, I can't remember the exact details. What Ryan Leaf go to jail for stealing prescription pills out of a mansion? I'm just saying, there's a long way between the two.
That's awful. Sad.
So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the draft. So New York, obviously, Cleveland Browns going to take Travis Hunter. Tennessee may take Cam Ward. Then you're looking at the New York Giants, who's going to be looking for either quarterback or somebody to protect the quarterback. If they know that's going to be their first two, and they may take Shedeur. If they don't take Shedeur, they're going to take an offensive tackle. New England already got a quarterback, and so they're going to need somebody to protect the quarterback. So they're going to look for that edge rusher out of Penn State. At that point, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they don't need anybody. They don't need a quarterback. They don't need a running back. They don't need any receivers. So we know they're going to be looking for the defense. Raiders get interesting. They need a quarterback. They need everything. So
And
So
Pete
are they
Carroll,
going to take Shador at that spot or Ashton Gentry? I don't know. Ashton Gentry, yeah.
Are they trying to sell tickets
Scott was the one you talking about Arizona. So the big guy.
J-Dub makes a good comment. I don't know if Eric heard it or not. I'm going to repeat that.
Yeah.
J-Dub said, are the Raiders trying to sell tickets this season? Or are they trying to sell tickets long term? So,
if they want to sell season tickets this year, they get Shador.
No, I without question.
If they want to sell season tickets, they get Shador.
And like him or not, Pete Carroll's he's a great guy to play for, and he does a good job coaching quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Shador ends up. I actually think Shador ends up with the Raiders. So, yeah, I really do.
Yeah. So you guys don't like Geno Smith in L.A.?
I'm not against Geno Smith. I think he's been a solid journeyman in the NFL. He's a solid starter if you can't get nobody else.
Yeah, Corey, I think Geno's got one good year left in him, which will give Shador a year to get groomed, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
but like you say, if
I got two questions.
Go ahead, Coach D-Way.
Where's Aaron Rodgers going to be next year, and where is Russell Wilson going to be next year?
Russell signed with who did Russell sign with? He signed with somebody. I forgot.
Did he sign with the Giants or the Vikings? I can't remember.
The Giants. It was because they got Russell and they got our guy, the preacher guy.
Yeah. Jameis.
Lord deliver me from pick sixes. Can't think of
in the snow game.
Yeah, I can't forget. I can't see his face. I can't think of his name.
Jameis Winston.
Jameson Wilson. Yeah.
Where did Aaron Rodgers land?
Nowhere yet.
Landed.
Okay.
He ain't gonna land nowhere. He gonna be trying his best to get on somebody's practice squad or something to try to fight position because he ain't got the right. I think something psychologically is going on with him right now.
He needs to go fishing. He needs to go fishing. That's where he needs to go.
Or go to school with Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
Apparently he's got a secret fishing hole somewhere. Maybe he can take Aaron fishing
and fix all his problems.
Maybe so. I mean, I don't want. I hate to see quarterbacks of his caliber because I hate it when our guy did it out of Green Bay. Brett Favre. I hate this. I hate him do it. I hate it when Bledsoe do it. It's like at some point just stop, retire. You know, when you start looking at these bad games, you know, said I was so glad when I got out of the Chargers retired. I can't think of his name. I can see his face. So, Phil.
Like 12 kids.
I thought you'd get ready to go deep on me there and go. I was so glad when they said to me, we go to the house of the Lord. I'm so glad when they said to me that Aaron Rodgers is finally going to retire.
Please just retire, man. Don't end your legacy, man. Don't ruin your legacy like that.
Aaron be making me eat crow. Look,
Phillip Rivers. Yeah. Well, Phillip Rivers. I was so glad when he finally retired. Yeah. Phillip Rivers. Yeah.
He's got like 19 kids, so he had to keep playing, man, to feed those kids. So.
Say less. Jonathan made this comment earlier, and I just want to make this be the last comment for the day. If Hunter wants to play wide receiver full time, I wouldn't even draft him. Ooh-wee.
I haven't heard him say that. I heard him say he wants to play both sides. So yeah, it's kind of like the Shatani Ote or Ote Shatani, however you say his name. He's a good pitcher and he's a good batter, but he's great because he does both. I think Travis is going to be very similar. He's not going to be Randy Moss and he's not going to be Charles Woodson, but he's a little bit less than both of them. That's still pretty good.
I love it. Yeah. That's good. That's good. That is good. I like that, man. I like that. Coach, you got to do that.
I think Jackie just had a mic drop on us right there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
But he can still be a solid 7 at both if he's not exhausted.
Right.
I mean, like, what's going to happen when he's your main corner and he just took a shot from the middle linebacker coming across the lane? Now, the wide receiver that he's been covering all game is wide open again? I mean, I don't know. It's risky for him.
You can't do both.
I hear you. It's risky.
You can't do both full time. You can't do both full time. So.
He said he could be Woodson playing full time, so he really think he's that good of a cornerback. He'll be an Alvin Harper at wide receiving. Wow. Okay.
I want to see him hit. I want to see him hit a full-grown NFL ball catcher tight end. Let's let Travis Kelce come across the middle and see how Travis can take him down.
Well, on the other side of the point, I want to see what he does when a weak side linebacker lights him up when he runs a slant.
Right.
Hits him in the next week. I want to see what happens on that day.
Well, with all that being said, I'm going to hold back. So I'm going to hold back judgment on his physical prowess until he's had a full season and a full off season. But still, I mean, again, it's different. These boys are big, you know. These boys are there to hurt people on purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, did that kid from Colorado State knock him out and they became best friends afterwards?
Yeah, it's something weird.
Almost half a season.
Right, and that kid ain't going to be there. That kid ain't going to be there.
If he knocked you out, he ain't an NFL type of defensive lineman, boy. Ooh-wee. I mean, defensive end. I mean, defensive back. Ooh-wee, bro.
So even though Darrelle Revis and Prime were island cornerbacks, they're not going to let you catch it. They could both lay some wood on you too, right?
If they had to,
they were big enough and strong enough, they're going to put you on the ground. But I hope Travis can put on, 20, 25 pounds of muscle over the next 18 months.
Yeah.
The only guy I seen that was small and took those hits, actually, it's two of them. The guy from the slot receiver, little small slot receiver from the Patriots. I can't think of his name.
Wes Welker?
He was a little short, but he was a little stocky. But Emmanuel Sanders was another one. That was a small guy. That's a slot receiver that took those hits and got up, right? But these guys who didn't have long careers.
But when Wes got his bell rung, Wes got to sit out while the defense was doing their thing, right?
Absolutely.
You know what? Are you not thinking about Wes? Think about the other guy. The other kid.
Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
Whoever. They're all small little white guys. When they get laid out, they can go sit out the defensive side of the ball, where if they're drafting Travis to play both sides, then he's got a play or two off and he's got to get going again.
I like that, G.
DB is not the most physical guy on the defense anyway. Yeah.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, that's our time for the day, man. I appreciate you guys for at the last minute agreeing to do this Monday special, man. I appreciate you, J-Dub, being able to stay on. You guys got any final words?
Hey, they got baseball. Rangers got a good jump on it. So I'm gonna start really kind of tuning in. Obviously, the NBA season now amongst us.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I know. Me too. So, but hey, the Mavericks. Do the Mavericks have a play-in game that I see?
Yeah, they made it to the play-in.
Do they have a chance? Is there any chance at all they could beat Memphis?
Is that who they play first? Is that right? Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I don't know who they're playing.
They play Sacramento.
Sacramento. Yeah.
There's a chance. I mean, you're talking about the two teams that barely made it in, so one of them's going to barely make it forward.
It'd be fun to get to see the Mavericks play a little bit, just because we're all three fans of the Mavericks.
Just because you like to see it, but man, I don't see it.
Okay. So we'll have a lot to talk about next week, EC, with the women.
All right.
And NBA playoffs and Major League Baseball in full swing. So that'll be exciting. So yeah, man, but it was another fun time tonight talking sports, and so yeah, all good.
I appreciate it. Jonathan G got some few words he want to say. He's talking about the NFL DBs are better than those guys in Colorado was playing. I totally understand that.
Sure.
Yep.
He also talked about Boots Ennis won over the weekend. Now you got Bud versus Camelo. Yeah, Boots Ennis did do his thing. Robert, what's going on, my man? This is one of my guy I just met here recently, man. Real cool brother, man. Thank you for getting a chance to tune in, brother, man. We thank you, Rob, man, for showing your support. Jonathan's talking about Tank. Tank didn't look good on his last fight against. We saw that. Then Corey is saying that I knew I was waiting on you, Corey, to talk about those Pistons. Go Pistons, we made. Not how far they're going. They're going to be right there, man. They're going to be there.
Yeah, two teams that have gotten hot at the right time is the Pistons and the Rockets. So we'll see. The hot team in the East is Detroit. The hot team in the West is Houston. So we'll see what happens. It'll be fun.
We'll see. Y'all, this has been fun, man. So those of you who are watching right now, typically the show is on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Time, but I'm not going to be able to make it Tuesday. So what I'm going to do for those who did not get the news was coming on today, I will actually air this video in replay. So this video, what we did today, this podcast tonight, will be in a replay mode on tomorrow at the same time slot at 6 o'clock. So this your boy EC22, the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Jonathan G is talking about the Mavs right now. Go Mavs when they play Sacramento. Y'all, we appreciate you guys. Once again, before we go any further, like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation, and we are out.